process of making my magazine, I used a range of different technologies. The main technology I've used are Photoshop and InDesign. At the start of the production, my skills in Photoshop weren't very good. I could do basic tasks, but nothing too complicated. By the end, I could do more difficult things. When using InDesign, I didn't know how to do the simple things, but with some help, I was able to complete a page. An advantage of Photoshop was the ability to get a drop shadow and text and pictures. This made everything look more interesting. The disadvantage of Photoshop was when the text layers flattened, so you couldn't edit them further without deleting them or redoing them. An advantage of InDesign was being able to line the text up and make it look real. A disadvantage was the photos looked slightly squished and misshaped. I also used Cam Studio. With this, I was able to record the process of things I did. A disadvantage was that every time I tried to use it, it crashed and I had to restart the computer. I used WordPress. I was always updating my blog and posting pictures of my magazine showing its process and telling what I had done in the lesson and what I had learned. I used Bubbleless. I liked this site as it let you create colourful mind maps where you could write down your ideas. A disadvantage was that it sometimes crashed. I also used Prezi to create presentations. I used this to create my media pitch and health and safety presentation. This site was good as it made your ideas look more professional and exciting rather than using PowerPoint. A disadvantage of this was that it took quite a while to get started with as it was quite complicated. Another site I used was SurveyMonkey. I used this to create a questionnaire that people in my class could fill in via email about my media pitch. The audience feedback I received are converted into graphs and charts. When taking my photos from a magazine, I used a digital SLR camera and a tripod, and also lights. I found them easy to use, but the hard part was positioning the lights to create an effective picture. Also finding a suitable setting on the camera, as some of them made the image appear blurry. Using Windows Movie Maker was easy, and I enjoyed making the videos. The only disadvantage of it was I had to upload my videos onto YouTube first instead of putting them straight onto my blog. I think the only real problems I've had when making my magazine have been the ideas of the designs. After some help and guidance, I think my magazine had a pretty good design. During the process of making my magazine, my skills in Photoshop improved. I used tools such as the rectangular marquee tool, the lasso tool, the magic wand, the paint bucket, the eyedropper tool, the text tool and the shape tool. When creating my magazine, I often changed the colour of the text. To do this, I wrote what I needed, then highlighted the text. I used the eyedropper tool to select the exact colour of my masthead so that my house style will carry on. I then highlighted the text once more and clicked the colour palette. The colour I wanted is already there, so I just had to press OK and my text would change colour. Before I decided on the picture I was going to use for my front cover, I played around with the contrast of different photos. I did this just to see whether it would make the photos look better. I also experimented with other effects such as posterizing and making the image black and white. To do this, I selected the posterize options from the adjustments menu and also the black and white option. Some elements of my front cover required a drop shadow to make them stand out and make them eye-catching. To do this, I wrote what I needed or drew the shape that I wanted, went to the effects menu and selected the drop shadow option. I then experimented with the distance, spread and size until I was happy with it. Also in Photoshop I created pictures with page numbers on them to use on my contents page. To do this I opened up a document to the size I wanted the picture to be. Then I went to File and Place and chose my photo. Whilst holding Shift to keep the image in proportion, I stretched the image to fill the space. After rasterizing the layer, I zoomed in and used the rectangular marquee tool to cut out a corner of the picture. I opened up my front cover so that I could use the eyedropper tool for the colours. I then used the paint bucket tool to fill in the corner with black. Using the text tool, I wrote in the page number I wanted and highlighted it. Went to my front cover and used the eyedropper tool to select the colour of my masthead. Went back and selected the colour. Then I resized and moved the number so that it would fit in the black box. I highlighted the number once again and changed the font to Arial Black. Throughout my magazine pages I often use a stroke around my words. I did this by writing what I need and selecting the stroke option from the effects menu. I used a stroke as it made letters stand out, especially on the front cover, to use on the main cover line. I also deleted the background in pictures. To do this I selected the magic wand tool and turned down the tolerance to 1. I selected the solid black areas of my photos to delete them. Also on my contents page I have a subscription box. When I was creating this I had a line of dots on it. To do this I kept duplicating the layer of the shape so that all the dots were the same size. To keep my house style going throughout my pages I wanted my contents page to be black. I created this in InDesign. To do this I used the rectangle frame tool and drew a rectangle over the whole page. I then selected the colour I wanted and filled it. When using InDesign I was always inserting pictures. To do this I used the rectangle frame tool to draw where I wanted the picture to be. I then went to File and Place and selected the photo I wanted. I minimised the page so that I could make the picture fit in the box. When I created my double page spread I used the drop cap tool to make a drop cap to signify to my readers that it's the start of the interview. I also used tools so that I could move each line of writing in my double page spread up or down. I used this to separate the questions from the answers in my interview. I used WordPress to keep updating my progress on the magazine and other things in this project, such as YouTube videos and Prezi presentations. I typed WordPress into Google and then I logged in and went to New Post and selected the option I needed. I often use the photo one as I post a lot of screen grabs to show progress I have made in the lesson. I write what I need to write and then select my photo and press Publish Post. I used Prezi to create presentations such as my media pitch and health and safety presentation on how to use and look after the media equipment such as the DSLRs and the tripods. I used this as it looks more professional than using PowerPoint. After logging in and selecting my Prezi that I want to present, I can go through it while speaking and presenting it.